everybody.
Heyo.
This has become a thing.
The heyo, hello.
Yeah, I like that. I wanna just say real fast. This has something to do with the episode today, but who would go to a Sonic for the food? Like, who would just go there?
My mouse.
Who just goes to a Sonic and they say we love the food there? I saw a comment on something that is involved in this dish today, and it's not the food, it's the drink. And the people said, I love the food and drinks at Sonic. Who goes there for the food?
It's not horrible.
What?
I do.
What do you like there? Like, what is good there that's better than something else at another place?
They got these little chicken things. It's kind of like popcorn chicken, and they toss it in sauce, and it's pretty gas.
Oh.
But let me tell you the real deal: the pretzel twists.
Yeah.
These are the best pretzel twists you'll ever have.
I want to make sure we're recording. I think we are.
One thing I noticed too, I don't know if it's in frame, but you can see the...
It's out of frame this time.
Okay. Jules noticed it last episode. We are recording?
Yes, we are. Sorry for that.
We're back.
Yes. The pretzel twists,
Best pretzel twist you'll ever have. I swear to God.
better than the ones at, where is it, Applebee's?
Better.
Wow. All right, there you go. Then there's people that would go to Sonic. I just had a question.
And their little, like the dessert thing. What's it
Oh,
called?
the little, the Sonic thingies.
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
like-
yeah, I know
It's
exactly
like the
what you're talking about.
McFlurry, but
Oh,
they
okay.
it's more mixed,
I want to call it a dasher, but that's Carmel.
Yeah. I don't know Sonic. That's why I'm asking. Okay. Well, anyway, that was just a question. We'll revisit that later. We'll circle back. This is Sports and Spaghetti, episode 78. Thank you for following and watching and listening. All 130 of you. That was a high watermark for us in the last calendar year for sure, which is exciting. Follow us on YouTube at Sports and Spaghetti. Subscribe. And then also on Spotify, and on Instagram, follow us on Sports and Spaghetti Pod, and on TikTok at Sports and Spag Pod. Those Bet the Rents are doing great. I hope you enjoyed the bloopers. We had fun. Hopefully I won't mess it up again this week. Also, I'm sorry, and then you can talk, because this is all about Anthony. The food is all about Anthony today. This is Anthony. Yeah. This whole episode is really about Anthony today, okay? So let me get it out of the way. I wanted to shout out a few friends of the show. First, a good friend of the show named Ransley. You've never heard his name before. He's a long-time listener, and asked for a shout-out today. And so there's Ransley. Shout-out. All the usual ones. And also friends who you actually have met and you've known forever. Jen and Fred. Jen Conchator and Fred Ames. We ran into them at ShopRite this evening before we came here, and they got to meet Hardin, and they saw Sabrina, and they were like, wow, you have a podcast, that's so amazing, yada, yada, yada. They already subscribed, and so she's going to want to hear her name on the episode, and so there it is, not 3.5 minutes into the episode. With that being said, I would say 90% of this is Anthony's dish. I did make the drink. Anthony told me that it goes with a specific drink, and there's a good reason why we've made this. And I'm going to let Anthony take it away from here.
All right, so this is going to be, we've kind of given you the heads up of like the episode types we do. We do like an everyday cooking, we do a gourmet, we redo school lunches. This is going to be a Nikki Faces His Fears episode.
Slash gourmet,
I guess.
But we're filing it under Nikki Faces His Fears.
So, Nikki, I asked you what was the most disappointing team, because let me preface. So what really gave me this idea for this podcast, Chris and I kind of talked about it. This was before Chris and I had reconnected, actually.
Yes.
I had cooked football. We'd watched football, and I had cooked food every Sunday. And what I did was, the team that the Panthers played, I would make a dish from that region. So they played the Buccaneers. I made like Cuban sandwiches. They played the Saints. I made a jambalaya one time.
Wow.
I think it wasn't a jambalaya. It was
a gumbo.
It was a gumbo. It was a filet gumbo.
Ooh.
We'll do that again. It was really good. So that was really what sparked it. So when I asked you in the group, hey, what team was most disappointing, and you said,
Don't you remember?
You said the Jags.
Oh yeah, easy.
So this is going to be a Jacksonville episode, as you can see by the title.
No, it's not. It's just the title.
Okay,
Don't worry.
well, it's centered around Jacksonville.
It's in the southern eastern
So,
seaboard.
so when I looked up dishes from Jacksonville, I would have assumed that it would be a lot of Latin cuisine.
Yes, same.
Well, it is not Latin cuisine.
No.
The dish we are featuring today.
Wait. Before you say it, let's tell the people that Nikki has absolutely no idea
Nikki has
what we're
no
about
clue.
to
I didn't
say.
even know this was happening.
He just got out of work,
Yeah.
and he's gonna be thrown into this wrapped item. All right,
So-
Anthony. Sorry.
So, I swear, this is not a slur. This is the actual name
Yes.
of what we are eating today. It is a sandwich, and it goes by the name of the Camel Rider.
What a cool name.
The Camel Rider is a product of Arab immigrants who first settled in Jacksonville in the 1890s. Since then, Jacksonville has a large Middle Eastern population. See the owner of the Jaguars. He's literally a
Talk about Mr. Khan later.
Pakistani immigrant.
He's coming later.
This dish became popular in the 1960s. Arab immigrants would have grocery stores in predominantly African American neighborhoods where they would sell this. So think of like this as like the OG Aki way.
That's really cool.
The name was first seen as derogatory, as one would imagine, but is now widely accepted by the consumers and the producers of this sandwich.
And that is where, if you want to talk about like race relations, that is when it becomes okay. When the people that make it and the people that eat it agree that that's a fine name, then you're fine. I think it's a cool name. That's an awesome name for a sandwich.
It's really cool. So we took inspiration from one of the most popular Camel Rider restaurants in Jacksonville. It goes by the Chic Sandwiches and Subs. They popularized this dish, and it is served today as it is served on their menu. It's called the Italian, which is, well, not the Italian, but that's kind of how they phrase it.
So this is an Italian sandwich at an Arab sandwich shop.
Correct.
Called the Camel Rider, but it's Italian.
Correct.
Okay.
So what, Nikki, if you'd like to unwrap either one of them. So typically you'd make fresh pita. I did not have the time, and this would get cut and stuffed. I just cut it in half. Nikki, you are looking at a Camel Rider. That is pita with mayo.
That's automatically a turn.
I went super light for you. Italian dressing, ham, salami, and bologna with American cheese. And at the,
Specifically American?
Specifically American.
Okay.
At the Chic, it is served with tabbouleh, which is in the container.
Oh, I can't wait to eat that though.
And tabbouleh is a Levantine salad.
It's so good, Nick.
Made of finely chopped parsley with tomato, mint, onion, soaked bulgur wheat, seasoned with olive oil, lemon juice, salt, and pepper. And the most popular drink that Chris made at the Chic is a homemade cherry limeade.
And we have that too. And it was made authentically with the almond extract, which I had no idea was a typical ingredient in cherry limeade until today, when almost all the recipes I looked, except for Sonic's, because that's where Sonic comes in. I looked on their website, it's at the ingredients, and to see if they had almond in it, and they said no, because it's an allergen.
So, I don't know if we're going to fast forward through the eating process, but
No.
I've
We're gonna eat this.
I've yet to try this. Chris has not tried it.
No, we need the reaction. Yeah.
I
I will pour us a drink. This is non-alcoholic. Not that it would have been alcoholic at all.
Let's
It's
go.
not
I
Ricky.
think I wish it would have been.
So, Nikki, you can start with the sandwich, and then you can take a nice big spoonful of the tabbouleh.
This is lovely.
Oh, okay.
The limeade, Nick, is delish. So even if you hate the sandwich, go ahead.
That
eat it.
smells so good.
Even if you hate the sandwich, you'll probably like this. Is pretty. I mean, you've probably had something like this before.
I'm not excited.
About the limeade or the sandwich?
Oh my god,
About honestly, like the worst thing on this
that
table.
is so good.
Worst thing on this table right now is probably the tabbouleh for me. Like I would actually try this over that.
Oh, that's nice. Cold.
Well, lucky for our viewers, you're trying both.
You're trying the whole thing. You don't have to eat the fresh tomato.
You have to-
I'm not.
You have to eat the whole kit in tabbouleh, if you would.
I does there have to be mayo?
That's how it's served.
Why is that on there? Get that off.
Yeah, but not everybody likes mayo. I'm sure so many people order it without
Yes,
mayo.
but this is ordered as is. You eat it as it comes. No substitutions, please. I'm gonna try it too. Go ahead, Nick. Take a bite.
Admittedly, it doesn't smell bad.
I'm sure it's good.
This,
Dude, Anthony made it. I'm sure.
so this shouldn't, and it's a sandwich. We
I
don't
thought
have
you
mixed
picked it up at the
sandwiches.
store.
No, I picked that up.
No,
Oh.
he made this.
I wasn't making. I couldn't find uncooked bulgur.
I don't think they have a Camel Rider in Danbury, to be honest. That's good. It's Italian sandwich. Pita. I like the pita here. Ooh, I like the Italian dressing.
I got the pita from an Indian farmer's market.
Did you
in
buy
South
the
Windsor.
dressing or did you make it?
I made it.
You know, you could tell you made it because there's no aftertaste. I like the crunch of the lettuce, the meat inside, and I like the American cheese as opposed to provolone. I think it works well with the Italian dressing. Yeah, that's good, man.
Oh boy, lordy.
Well done! Yeah! And so the limeade is the most popular drink at this place.
They make it. There we go.
That's just perfect. That's perfect. I'm gonna come down here and have more later.
Let me look at the limeade.
I'm gonna have some of this. I love the tabbouleh. Oh, I wish there was more mint, but that's very good. Did you make this?
No.
You put
No, I picked that up
because
like
you
I said, I
couldn't find the bulgur.
I didn't know where. I didn't know how to sprout it or.
I think it's soaked, right?
Yeah.
It takes too long. It's good. That's delicious. I want to put some of the tabbouleh inside the sandwich.
So yeah, they make the chic cherry lime fresh. So they make. So they do exactly what you do, but fresh.
All right, Nick.
The sandwich was okay. Wasn't my favorite thing I've tried.
I'm sure
Definitely wasn't my least.
it was better than the gnocchi.
Oh, mild. I did appreciate the pita. I think it worked well.
I really enjoyed that. The pita.
It wasn't bad. I can't complain really.
Try that. You're not done. Nick has tried the sandwich, and now he will try the tabbouleh.
What's in it again?
It's parsley,
Yeah,
tomato,
yeah,
mint,
yeah.
onion, soaked uncooked bulgur,
What is that?
which is a wheat, a type of wheat. It's seasoned with olive oil, lemon juice, salt, and pepper. It's a very popular Middle Eastern. It's in like everything Middle Eastern.
I pray this upcoming Sunday, the Giants, or the Bills, or the Jets
You want me to make wings, don't you?
have an absolute atrocious game, and I get to eat a nice slice of pizza or something.
Pizza's done.
Well, I already know what next week is going to be because it's our school episode.
Oh, okay.
It'll be good.
All right.
And it's not gonna be pizza.
Oh, you got to go more than that. You got to get some of the wheat.
Well, I don't know what the wheat looks like.
It's at the bottom.
Oh, I have to go all the way down.
It's like rice.
Yes, see, it's mixed in there. You gotta go up to the bottom and take a nice bite like that. Well, look at all that lemon.
Like, I don't see the wheat. What are
It's
you
mixed
talking
in.
about?
They're like little. Let's try it. That's
Yeah,
not.
that is really
How
good.
much of this do I have to put in my mouth?
The
Just eat
whole
it.
spoonful.
I'm not doing that.
It's already gone. I already ate it. The flavor you get the most is the tomato, the onion, and the parsley, and the mint. Those are the four flavors. It's good.
I just
It's
really
one.
do like
It's
how
one.
it
It's
looks,
one
man.
application where I like the raw tomato.
I just really don't like what I'm looking at.
He's going to eat it. so
It's good, right?
It is good.
It's good. I love the parsley flavor. I love the flavor of parsley anyway. It's fantastic. And it does wash down very nicely with the cherry limeade. It's like it was meant to go with it. Good call. Yeah. Right, that's good limeade in there. Good stuff.
I'm going to have another one by the time we're done.
Yeah, there's more in there. There's some good.
It smells very gardeny.
Nick, you got to take a bite.
It is the garden. That's the garden. I have all of that in my garden except the wheat. I'm gonna try to grow it next year. It's illegal. Did you know that?
No.
It's actually illegal to grow it, like, for use. Which is strange. I thought he's gonna spit it out. Oh, the face of, no, he did not like that. But he ate it. He ate tabbouleh. I don't think he ever thought he'd eat that in his life.
That definitely wasn't my favorite thing. What was the liquid? I didn't like that part.
It's olive oil,
It's just
lemon
olive oil,
juice.
lemon juice, yeah.
It was too much. It really was.
Too much.
Well, there was too much liquid. I felt like I was drinking it. It was gross. Honestly, a little bit.
So, as a whole, sandwich, drink, tabbouleh,
What would you rate this
what are you
one?
rating it?
I feel like it's unfair. I can't rate it as a whole. I can't.
All right.
I'm
So
gonna
rate
go
it
7.
separately.
Individually.
5 for the sandwich. 3 for the tabbouleh.
Really? That high?
Yeah, because like I put bad things in 2 and 1. That wasn't that
Yeah,
bad.
the sweet potato, the gnocchi. I think they'll come to mind.
The scallion cake thing. Oh no.
Oh yeah, you didn't like those.
That one fun, the gnocchi.
I forgot about those.
And the cherry limeade is a solid 10.
Thank you.
It was like it's actually
It's gas.
Yeah.
And obviously that's not Anthony's work that gets a 5. That's picking Nikki's analysis. And I think
Listen, I think you should be happy with a 5 because I haven't tried anything in that other than the pita and the lettuce.
So, the bologna.
really, you've never tried any of the meat inside that? Wow.
You've never had ham?
No.
Ham, salami, bologna. It's weird. Ham salami's normal, but I was expecting there to be something else.
I've never had ham salami bologna, the cheese like it is, or the mayo.
It was your first time trying mayo?
That's well done, Nick. Good
So
job.
I think you should be happy with a 5.
Dude, I
Excellent.
would have been happy with a 2.
The fact that you tried it is
Oh,
what
yeah.
made him happy. And he knew it was good. Listen, we're at the point. We've cooked so many things just for the podcast, and this is not tooting our own horn, maybe a little bit, that we know if we make something, it's probably going to be good. You know if you make something, as yourself, like you know when you make something and it's good.
Well, I just feel bad, giving it the 5 and you the 10. But like,
But by nature, a cherry limeade is way more palatable than that.
And
For an
yeah.
American, for somebody from America that's probably had similar things. That's so different. This is a very ethnic cuisine.
I'm also biased towards drinks. Like, I'll drink anything you put in front of me. But,
Right.
like, I can't eat.
I appreciate the 10. I did put effort into it. I made the lime simple syrup, and I did the maraschino cherries. I put some of that juice in there, little almond extract, and then
Oh, you can tell. This is like,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, no, it tastes like something I guess.
yeah, it's so good.
Thank you.
So good.
I love it. There's plenty more.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
yeah.
my
7
thing,
up. 7 up.
my thing again is, right, I was shocked when Arab cuisine was the
Yeah.
tops in Jacksonville.
I'll have to talk to my resource about the area.
You do have a resource. You can shout him out.
Yes, Hisham, I will be talking to you about the Camel Rider.
Yeah, and there's other applications in Jacksonville. They do like seafood ones, so they do like shrimp ones. They do
It's good stuff.
this restaurant. They call them, I think it's like steak in a bag, and it's pretty much this with just steak in it. But again, these are supposed to be fresh pitas. I didn't have the time to make them, so
We work. We all work.
a lot of the time when you have a fresh pita, not a lot of time, when you have a fresh pita and you cook them, they'll puff up real tall. So you're supposed to wait till they puff up and you cut it open and then you stuff it. But I did it
It's
this way.
beautiful. It was beautifully done, Ian.
Yeah, it was.
That's like an 8 for me. It was great. I would eat that. I'm gonna take it home and bring it to lunch. I'm
You
gonna
got
have
the
it for lunch.
tabbouleh too.
Yes, I'm gonna have that for lunch tomorrow too. You bet I am. It's not an unhealthy lunch.
No, this is a solid
It's
lunch.
a pretty decent lunch right there. I would put it in the pretty decently healthy category. You got mayo, you got the cheese, but that's pretty good. That's a good lunch,
It
and
is
it's
a good
delicious. Well done, Ian.
Thanks, man.
Good job, good team, good teamwork there.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Well done.
Very good. I'm gonna need you guys on my team for, in no particular order, speaking of teams.
Yeah.
Because, I've got a lot to say today in no particular order. I'm not gonna make it take a long time. I'm gonna do a couple quick hitting ends first this week. And the first one I want to do is I tried to give the Rangers broadcast a chance. I tried to give these two, Sam Rosen, who's been my grinder for it's his last season. Joe Micheletti, goodbye. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. I'm tired of them. So if you guys don't know, the Islanders and Rangers played a preseason game yesterday, and the Islanders had a 4-1 lead with 6 minutes left. So naturally, the Rangers won 6-4. Okay.
Is that actually true?
Yes. Now,
I
immediately,
hope Sorokin wasn't in goal.
he's recovering from back surgery.
This
Okay.
is just kind of wrong that you're just going right past this.
The reason why, you're going to hear why. You're going to hear why. So Semyon Varlamov played the first half of the game for the Islanders, and they were winning 3-0 at the end of the second. Okay? 3-0. Henrik Tikkanen, the backup on the ECHL team, that would be 6th string goalie. They're fighting for an AHL backup position. So Starek played, Holdberg played the first game, the two of them, and then Varlamov played the first half and looked real sharp. Even the announcers were saying how sharp him and Shesterkin looked. They both played the first half. Then Tikkanen and Jonathan Quick went in for the second half respectively. And Quick looked great. I mean, they both look in great form. The Rangers are going to be a good team this year again. I'm not talking about the team. I'm not even talking about the Islanders. Matt Barzal had 2 goals. Bo Horvat had a goal. That top line looked great. Duclair looked amazing. Nice feed he had to Barzal and to Horvat. Happy with that. I think Matt Martin got the other goal, who's on the PTO. So, no bad things about the team. This goalie, the goals that this guy was letting in, I could have stopped 3 of them. It was so bad. He was swimming around the net. Swimming. And so, they just were piling on. As soon as the Rangers made it 4-3, I said to Melissa, this game's over. It doesn't matter. It's preseason. It really doesn't matter. The Islanders also held a third period lead against the Devils in their first preseason game when they had more capable goaltending. And they withstood a Devils push, and they were fine. It's preseason, doesn't count. The Rangers broadcast said, well, this raises the question, Joe, doesn't it, about the Islanders' third period? Well, yeah, they blew 9 2-goal leads last year. But we didn't have Henrik Tikkanen in the net. The team looks very sharp early on in the preseason. And the goaltending was so bad. I mean, even the Rangers fans were saying, wow, your goalie blew that one. And what a lot of fans don't understand is that the preseason doesn't matter. And there's this thing called the curse of the perfect preseason, and it's a true thing. A lot of teams, the Islanders famously do well in the preseason and then suck in the regular season. It's very known to happen to them. So it doesn't matter. Half of the team is playing for both teams. It doesn't really make a difference when Pelech, Polak, Mayfield are not playing on defense for you. Brock Nelson's not in the lineup. Barzal wasn't in the first game. Horvat wasn't in the first game. The team is not the team. And so the broadcasters were just driving me nuts. I was just laughing. I was like, this is going on the podcast. This is so stupid. Why are we even bringing this up? Like, yes, they're going to give up all the leads in the third period in the regular season. This game is not why. They would have won that game. Varlamov looked great. Anyway, the number 2 ad is Leicester City. They're winners of their first 5 games. They're in 15th in the Premier League. They're okay right now, but they've got to get a win. They've got to pick up a few wins coming up. They've looked pretty good, but it's tough to go back up. It's tough. Ipswich is in the same spot, and they just came up. It's a tough thing to come back into the league and play those top 5 teams. Even down to Newcastle, Man City, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, Tottenham sucks, but they're a tough team to play. I mean, all of them, they're all tough when you've just played in the championship all season. And so Leicester's got to feel it out. But yeah, that's number 2. Yeah. We're the good. Anthony and Chris are the good of the week.
For what?
Because Anthony and I combined for nearly $200 in the green, or the black, whichever one you want to say, in sportsbook winnings for the weekend.
Very well.
Just fabulous stuff. I had 50 of those 200.
I have a bone to pick with Jaden with the NFL. Remember that bet I said, hey, look what I just hit. It was a plus 300 parlay, nice and easy. I threw $50 on it, was going to win like 2 something. Every leg of this parlay hit. Jaden Daniels, I needed 40 rushing yards. He took a knee at 40 rushing yards, finished with 39 rushing yards. We would have been up almost $500 this weekend.
Wow. Nonetheless, that's a bad beat.
It was good. It was a bad beat, but it's okay.
That's a very bad beat. But but it doesn't diminish the weekend we had. Did you end up 140?
I'm still up.
I ended up 60, 58. I rounded up to 200. I said nearly. I did say nearly.
You know, speaking of football and how good you two are doing, how's fantasy become for you guys this year so far?
I just won I won my matchup, so I'm really happy with that.
I lost my matchup, and I lost in our league. That's why he's saying it. I lost my matchup, and I also lost against the league median. But
I did lose against the league median this week, but I did win my matchup.
Shout out to Demersky for just tanking the league median because he doesn't set his lineup. I don't care.
I'm not going to kick him out of the league. He can stay.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about what everybody wants to get to today, and it's not the Panthers, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. This team, boy, are they the poopiest, awfulest situation in football. It's amazing. Yes, we're going to get to the Panthers today, obviously. We have a lot to talk about on this episode, which is why the food went a little faster this time. We're going to talk about the Panthers because this time, last week, we were talking about how they were the poopiest, awful. Well, Nikki and I were talking about how they were poopy and awful. The Jacksonville Jaguars really exposed themselves this weekend with a terrible loss, starting 0-3. So Trevor Lawrence has no help, right? He's got nothing. He's not helping himself either. The team is boring to watch. I watched a lot of the game this weekend. They're listless. Doug Peterson might be replaced by Bill Belichick. Shad Khan said before the season, I'm going to insert the clip here. If you didn't hear him, he said, make no mistake, this is the best team assembled by the Jacksonville Jaguars ever. Let's prove it by winning now. Have they won?
No.
No, they have not. They are 0-3. It's an interesting good, though, that came out of this. I have an interesting good. There's a YouTube video of Trevor Lawrence's press conference after the last game. And there's the top comment is a Jags fan saying, I don't even know what this team needs right now. I'm just so lost as a fan, and they've never been good since I've been a fan, and I don't think they'll ever be good. Why do I like this team and keep buying their stuff? And under it, there was a smattering of Bucs fans. We are the losingest team in football history. Browns fans, Jets fans, all these Giants fans saying, dude, don't worry, it'll get better. We're all in the same boat. We all suck. And it was.
Were there any Islander fans?
This is football. This is football. Take it easy. Wait till October 10th when we play Utah and get blown out by the new team. Just wait. Then we can talk about how stupid they are. No, it was good stuff. That was a good to come out of the bad. But boy, are the Jaguars bad as we transition into the NFL. And we'll get them out of the way before we talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's transition to something we had the thought of last week. It's going to be a little game we play, and it's going to be called Do We Hit the Panic Button Yet? I'm going to give you guys a team. You let me know if you were in charge, if you were the general manager, are you hitting the panic button yet?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, so we'll start off with the aforementioned Jacksonville Jaguars.
panicking.
All right,
I'm sure you're panicking.
if I'm a Jags fan, I'm panicking because there's a lot of contracts tied up in this team, and there's not a lot of production tied into this team. I don't know what Doug Peterson's doing. They need a new, fresh, offensive-minded coach that is not Bill Belichick. Please
Yeah, I
do
don't
not
think-
hire Bill
I don't
Belichick.
think that's gonna do anything for this team.
No.
Well, honestly though, like their players, I think have so much potential. I think they just need to redo their coaching staff.
I
And they
think-
can be contenders.
I think coaching staff does have a lot to do with it, but the way their offensive line is built is not very great. The way their defensive line is built is not very great. Defense is weak as a whole, and I mean, you're in a league where you have Trevor Lawrence, who was the second highest, college quarterback behind Peyton Manning ever. Maybe we'll say Andrew Luck, but the guy was supposed to be the next superstar. He's done nothing but waste his time with Urban Meyer and Doug Peterson.
In
And
fact, I saw a
sucks.
stats thing, and he has very similar stats as Daniel Jones right now, who everyone is saying
it's
is
very similar.
the run the league.
Well, I think that Lawrence on a good team would be able to showcase why he was as successful as he was in college.
No, all I'm saying is Dave Canales is the veteran quarterback whisperer. So, Trevor. Okay, next team. Are you going to hit the panic button on the Tennessee Titans? They're also sitting at 0-3.
0-3, yes.
Not just yet. One more loss, and yes.
I think they're out of playoff contention. So I'm panicking.
Okay.
I'm not.
All right. I'm not going to panic because
This team is not making the playoffs at 0-3.
my thing is the worst thing that's going to happen is, let's say they go over, they don't win a single game, they have the first overall pick. They're going to have a quarterback to replace Will Levis eventually. And it seems thus far Will Levis is the problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they have two very good running backs. They have a completely rebuilt offensive line that once they start gelling, they're going to be really good. They have a decent D line. They have a good defense. They always play good defense. They have Calvin Ridley. They have Nuke, Chig, Okonkwo. I mean, these guys are good. These are good skill position, decent line. I think Will Levis is the problem. I think Coach Callahan, being a rookie coach, I think he's showing a lot of that. Still wet behind the ears.
I wonder, though, as a fan, if I were a fan of the Titans, what I would be making of this. Like, I feel like if I were a Titans fan, which to some degree you are,
So I still follow the Titans.
I
guess.
just think like, let me put it in terms of the Yanks or the Isles or something like that. Or Leicester City. Like, Leicester City has not won yet in 5 games. Am I panicking? No. But if they don't win in their first 10 games, yeah, I'm starting to panic. And that's kind of the equivalent of this, because there's so many fewer games. It's just an 0-3 start after you expected to win at least 1, maybe 2 of those games. I would be like really, really aggravated as a fan.
So a lot of things I've seen is in the Titans Twitter area is a lot of people being like, "Hey, we shouldn't have fired Vrabel." I think it was time to move on. I love Coach Vrabel,
Yes.
but it was time to move on. You can't win football games you can win football games like he coached, but league is changing. I think Coach Callahan is. I think he's right, but again, I think he's just a new coach, and he has to make those decisions. I mean, he's not a guy like Mike McCarthy making all these bad decisions when it comes to clock management and when it comes to play calling and roster management. And with that, do you guys hit the panic button on the Dallas Cowboys?
I don't think they're good. I just don't think they're. I don't know if I'm panicking.
I'm panicking.
The reason why I'm not hitting the panic button is because I think the panic button was on already, like before the season started, because the writing has been on the wall all off season. Jerry Jones has made all the wrong moves in the off season. They've unloaded guy after guy after guy. They brought back Ezekiel Elliott, which is doing nothing right now. It's not Dak Prescott's fault this team sucks. Let me tell you that. But then they signed him to a huge contract.
The biggest contract ever.
I mean, but they don't have anybody for him. He's got nobody. So they're wasting his talent and they're wasting their money because they could have gotten the same quarterback performance out of Bryce Young, for all we know.
This is
Get crazy, but
So I think this is the prime example of why Brady and why Mahomes are gonna be and were and will be so great for so long is because Mahomes deserves to be the highest paid player in the NFL, but he's not. So you can surround him with Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce and Isaiah Pacheco, and you can re-sign Creed Humphrey and re-sign Trey Smith, and it's like all of these guys are being taken care of because your quarterback's not taking this massive contract.
Right.
If you look at the Cowboys, like, if they give Micah Parsons this max deal that we'll say deserves, I've since day one thought he was overrated. If they give him the max deal, who are they paying? They're paying Trayvon Diggs a huge contract. They're paying Micah Parsons a huge contract. They're paying CeeDee Lamb a huge contract and Dak a huge contract. You have 19 other players, 18 other players to take care of. That's insane to me.
Like I said, I think my mother-in-law's panic button was on from day one. It's just a mess.
All right, then finally the last team in this little segment, I guess. You said mess. This was a big mess on Monday night. The Cincinnati Bengals. Are you hitting the panic button?
That team was out the door of the stadium by the end of the first half.
I am panicking, and I'll tell you this: when they lose to the Panthers on Sunday, just fire the entire organization.
Somebody jumped on board. Again, I don't think it's Joe Burrow's fault. I think he's good. Zach Moss is good. His skill positions are good.
Burrow had a good game.
Their defense is bad. Their defense is bad, and their offensive line is atrocious. That's it. That's writing on the wall. That's pretty much it.
And the star wide receiver is unhappy all the time.
Both of
Yes.
both of their star wide receivers, T and Jamar. But I mean, again, that's what do you do when you insert those superstars into horrible situations? And not for nothing, it's Cincinnati. It's not a great city. It's not like he was in Miami. Like nothing against the fine people of Cincinnati, but it's not like he's in Vegas. It's not like he's in L.A. where there's fun outside of the city. These dudes in Ohio.
You know where there's superstars in fun, Anthony? In Carolina.
Charlotte, baby.
In Carolina, the elephant, or the cat, I should say, in the room, is that the Panthers they appear to be relevant again. They dominated the Raiders. A domination of the Las Vegas Raiders. Red Rifle was in vintage form. It looked as good as he's ever looked. They made every hater, including Nikki and I, eat every word we said. Now, you're going to be able to talk in a second. 9-8 may still be a stretch because we've seen one game. They could win out from here. The way they looked against the Raiders, who's telling how many games they could win? They could win 10, they could win 11, they could win 12 games. Why not? More than that. But someone sitting here is about to burst and say, I told you so. And before that happens, Nikki has something to say.
Before this happens, because I know it's about to happen.
Don't Nikki. Don't do it.
I would like to state,
I'm here ready to take it.
For the record, for the people on camera, I believed before the game on Sunday. Before.
To be fair, I did get a text that, you know what, let me read it verbatim.
Yes, please do. I would love to, because this is proof.
I still don't believe yet, and so this is for me, really. Mainly.
So I was told verbatim.
As long as you don't talk for 25 minutes.
I'm just trying to find it here.
Fine.
Just trying to find it here. Don't worry. We talked a lot today.
We did.
It's only been 39 minutes.
No, I'm saying in our group chat.
Oh, yes. You two were talking about fantasy sports on working. I'm like, guys.
That worked too.
Scroll. So was I. Okay.
Text me about fantasy.
The quote I got today, or Sunday morning was, come on.
I remember it.
I remember the text.
I just want to read it.
I remember the text.
He said, I said, yo, He said, "I'm starting Deontay over Pickens and Bell. I swear to God, if your Panthers poop the bed." And then he said, "I'm gonna freak out." Did they poop the bed?
No, they did not, Anthony.
Deontay looked really good. He had 183, I think, yards. His career high. He had a touchdown. Adam Thielen was diving through double coverage, ripping his hamstring up during that. I mean, this was the team that was fueling my delusion. This was the vision where it's just, boom, we're hitting you with the pass, and then Chuba's going to run for 140, and then, I mean, even Miles Sanders got in and had a touchdown, and then you add Jonathan Brooks in a couple weeks, it's like, this. We got into a heated argument about the offensive line last week. Statistically, the number one pass blocking offensive line in the NFL. Max Crosby, not a single pressure on Timo. Christian Wilkins had I think it was like a half of a pressure. These guys, this is exactly what the vision was to feed my delusion. The defense looked stout, and they were missing. They were missing Derek Brown. They controlled the line of scrimmage. They stopped the run. Their defense wasn't absolutely gassed. They had a competent quarterback. 9-8. We're making the playoffs.
Well, hold on. Yes, Nick.
Well, I like this parade right now. Really, I'm part of it.
I'm part of it.
I feel
I'm part of it.
no,
He
I
says.
feel terribly bad to bring rain down on it, but I would like to now ask you about Bryce Young, and is he that bad? Is he garbage?
I mean, I
What's he
think
gonna
it's
do?
I think it's pretty clear that he was the problem. I think it's vehemently clear.
Now,
Vehemently.
I was gonna let it go.
Vehemently.
Now, the thing is, Anthony, we talked about them playing Cincinnati this week. How, in your opinion, do they do this again? Because maybe not against Cincinnati, but when they play a really good team, how do you make sure this isn't a one-time? Because sometimes when you inject new life into a team with a big switch, like pulling a goalie in hockey, changing the starting quarterback, stuff like that, how do you make that go to the next week, now that they've done it so great one week?
So I hate
Turn it around.
I hate giving this answer because it's like the most basic answer you can think of, but I think the blueprint to win football games is what they executed on Sunday against the Raiders. It's dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides. It's run the ball, pass when you have to. Don't, make the offense become one-dimensional where they only have to pass and you don't have to worry about the run and stop it. It's exactly what they did. I mean, you didn't hear anything about Brock Bowers. You didn't hear anything about Devontae. It's like, who was it? Trey Tucker had that one big catch and Jacoby Myers had a touchdown. That's really it. It's
Yeah.
like, defense played really, really well.
Bowers did get me my 40 yards, so thank you for that. He got exactly 40 yards. But yeah, I hope for your sake and for the Red Rifles' sake and for the team's sake that they continue this, because that was a really fun way to win. It was pretty much the inverse of game one that we watched at Demersky's house.
Football was fun again for the first time in 2.5 seasons.
That's so great, and I recall that feeling, like, as an Isles fan, when they were good during the COVID season. It was like, wow. Wow.
Like sitting on my couch, I was watching this game and I'm like, I have something to cheer for.
Yeah.
It's not just me sitting down, it's like, here we go again. Why do I watch this? Why? Even when they won last year, like the game they won, they beat the Texans and then they beat the Falcons. The game they beat the Falcons was 9-7.
Yeah, that's no fun. It's
I
like,
was
oh
like-
God, well, I guess we'll take it.
I was sitting there, I was like, this is horrible. Like, I don't want to watch this. This is horrible. But it's like, you have, like Leggett getting the ball and, like, breaking tackles, and you have Chuba running through people.
Everything
and Andy
about that.
Dalton threading the needle and Thielen laying out. It was
the whole
it was
game
fun. It was just fun.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people were excited about this, and the team, they looked like they were having a great time. And you haven't seen that, like you said, in 2.5 seasons, and so this guy, Andy Dalton, needs a statue, yeah?
Get rid of the
That's
Jerry.
what Spiro said.
Get rid of the Jerry Richardson one.
Yep.
I don't see why they can't replicate this.
I don't either.
Just because Andy looked so good. Like
He looks so calm
the
and
reason
comfortable,
that
which he should have,
the
but
defense is staying off the field and not being on it the entire time and giving up 40.
Right.
It's not being turned over every 3 passes.
he's managing the drives so well.
Oh yeah, and I
He's
mean
managing the football.
the thing about Dave Canales, right, is everybody said he's a quarterback whisperer. It didn't work with Bryce. Like, could just be a veteran quarterback whisperer. Worked with Baker. It worked with Geno Smith. It worked with Dalton so far. It's like
Right.
I'm okay with that.
I have a feeling this weekend is going to be another win, but I feel like it's going to be kind of an ugly win. Like I feel like there might be a little bit of letdown from this. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because it's really fun to watch. But I feel like they're going to win.
I know.
It might be like a close nail biter of sloppiness.
Which I need. I haven't had one of those in a long, long time.
Yeah. No, that was hey, you'll take a nice easy one. Should we talk about the Jets, or should we move right on?
I think we can move on.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it with football, though, because we got to talk about the big event coming up on Saturday. All 3 of us will be at the WAC, the West Side Athletic Complex.
The Den.
The Den. It's not the WAC anymore?
Welcome to Wolf Den!
Oh, God. The Den, sure. The West Side campus of Western Connecticut State University. I will say something like that as we go onto the air. Something like that. As we broadcast the men's football against, who is it? I've worked all day, Anthony.
I think it's Bridgewater.
I haven't done the research on Bridgewater.
Neither have I. That was on the docket for tomorrow.
They have a good tennis team.
Bridgewater?
Yeah.
That's my Friday thing. Oh, we look so unprofessional.
Yeah, we do.
Um,
No, I think it's Bridgewater.
I can tell you anything about their women's tennis team.
Damn. Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Oh, you know what? I wrote that down somewhere now that you say it.
Bridgewater's the second game we get. So
Whatever.
we get Fitchburg, Bridgewater,
But
Worcester.
we don't get Mass Dartmouth.
We don't get any aquatic.
I know, we don't get Dartmouth. Who's the Corsairs?
We don't get Dartmouth or what's it called?
Maritime.
Or Maritime.
Oh, that's a shame. We might have to travel for that game.
I'm so upset now.
We'll find a way to work it in. Anyway, so one of the big storylines for WestCon coming in to this game and to this season was life after Chad Blasky. And the running back situation and the quarterback situation, which we'll get to in a minute, has a lot of questions still. WestCon is 2-1 right now, 2 straight wins after an opening week 1 loss, so that's all good stuff. But how about their starting running back, Cameron Holmes, the senior?
He is out of Guilford, Connecticut, which is funny because my boss actually knows him. He played football with my boss's son, which is pretty cool. Cam Holmes, he's emerging as their lead back. It's a running back by committee, but they're 3 games, 30 carries, 172 yards. He's toting the rock. I can't think of the but the 1B running back's name, because it's been the Cameron Holmes show, to be completely honest with you.
No, you're absolutely right. Well, they have, I have it right here. Pause.
We gotta tighten this up before Saturday.
Boy, do we. I have the backup running back right here. Franceschini.
I knew it was Franciscini, I just didn't want to say it.
Franceschini. We're losing all the credibility with this. This is bad.
All of this credibility.
No, so Cameron Holmes is the guy that we're going to be watching, though, most likely. The offense is scoring 34.4 points a game, and they're averaging 284 pass yards per game. A lot of penalties, though. A lot of penalties on this team.
Yeah, 30 penalties, and they're 94 penalty yards per game.
Per game.
That's cool.
One of the things that's going to have to be sorted out, and Anthony and I have talked about this, and when we're calling the game, we're going to be neutral about it. But this is our podcast, and we can say whatever we want on the podcast. This has been a very interesting situation at quarterback for the Wolves. Keon Jones proved last year, we've talked about it here on WXCI, this should have been his team. He is having a pretty good season. He's been relied on more than John Giller. He has 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 596 yards, 40 of 69 so far. But John Giller, it's not even a 1A, 1B. It's like a 1-1. He's 25 of 33 overall with 6 touchdowns, though. And John Giller had the injury. It wasn't his fault he got hurt. We still don't know exactly what it was, but it was kind of came out that he had an injury. Obviously, he didn't play. I'm just interested to know, Anthony, is there a college team right now in D1 that does this platoon with quarterbacks?
The thing is, there no longer is, and I think this is a big talking point when it comes to Western Connecticut State as well, because Michigan, University of Michigan, they were running a 2-quarterback system, and it wasn't really working. So this week coming up, it was whoever they played last week. I'm losing it. USC. They ended up beating USC. It was the first time Alex Orji started the game and played the whole game. I don't get it.
I like that you say that. Tell me more.
I don't get, because the quarterback. Okay, so I'll put it in the Michigan perspective. It was between Davis Warren and Alex Orji. Alex Orji's mobile guy. He's going to run the ball around. Think J.J. McCarthy as what's his name? I just said it. Other quarterback. Think J.J. McCarthy. He can distribute the ball. He's decent. The problem is you don't have an identity unless you have a quarterback. And that goes with every sports team. The Panthers didn't have an identity with Bryce Young. The Jets didn't have an identity until Aaron Rodgers got back. Michigan didn't have an identity until they named Alex Orji their starter. So are they going to go with the more mobile Keon Jones, where, yeah, he might play a little sloppier, but the guy is a big play waiting to happen? Or do they go with John Giller, who's more cerebral, who's more focused, who's going to, maybe not light up the scorebook, but he's going to make the right throw at the right time. He's going to throw the ball away when he has to. He's going to, scramble for 2-3 yards.
Yes.
You don't have an identity until you can set a quarterback. I'm sorry, like it is. It really is.
No, you're absolutely right. It's going to be interesting to see how they play it on Saturday when we're there. That's a 5 p.m. start for the Wolves. Now, the receivers, there's going to be familiar names, like you never left, right?
Like they never left.
Julian Ferguson and Deshaun Allen. Deshaun Allen is lighting it up so far.
As a sophomore, listen, I love you. I'm glad you're in Danbury, but this is not Division III talent.
No, this guy is a D1 player.
Like Nikki, I know you didn't really. I don't know if you saw any games last year. You should have listened to your brother and I's broadcast. But
I did.
But when you're on the field and you see this guy get ahead of steam, it's just like across. Like you're like, whoa! Like he's that fast.
He really is. 23 receptions, 223 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Deshaun Allen, the sophomore. There are issues though. We're talking about how good Westcon is. There is a big glaring issue here so far, and it's their rush defense, is it not?
Well, the glaring issue is Chris and I, again, as we're the voices of WXCI, thank you very much for WXCI for that. We watched their Division III college playoff game, which they played Johns Hopkins, and playing Johns Hopkins is, I use that very loosely. They were in Maryland.
They tried to play them.
They got skunked by, I think, 40 points. They could not stop a fullback dive. It was typical. I mean, it's the Westcon defense you've seen for the last couple years. No fly zone, great secondary, defensive line is soft and squishy. like, I hate saying that because these are they're our boys. I played for Loth briefly, but it's hard to be like. But I mean, through 3 games, 621 rushing yards.
That's 182 yards per game given up.
That is
on average.
That is they're giving up almost triple the rushing yards to passing yards.
It's exactly what you said.
It's insane.
And so, is that just the way that they're going to live and die?
Well, so as
Because
of
we've seen this for more than one season now.
so as of the last couple of years, I mean, since we've started calling it, they really run. Sorry, Tish. They run a 3-3 stack, which means there's 3 down linemen, there's 3 standing linebackers. They usually walk 1 or 2 up. There's 5 in the secondary. This is good against pass. This is a very typical college offense because most colleges are going to run spread or pro style, where you have a lot of motions, you have a lot of screens, you have a lot of this, a lot of that. When you have a team like Johns Hopkins coming in and running the ball 40 times, yeah, it's 5-on-3 for the most time in the box. Of course they're going to run. You have double team lanes. You have, I mean, gaping alleys. It's like there's no base defense. We haven't seen the Wolves go 4 down in 3 seasons. It's like, guys, you're getting run all over. Like, maybe walk a safety up in the box, pull a corner. Like, you got to do something. It's just the no adjustments, which really scares me because this team has a lot of talent. They've gotten very far. They've been at the top of the MASCAC for the last 5 seasons, it feels like.
Recruiting is very good.
I mean, it just feels like they're never going to get over the hump. They're never going to, full out win the MASCAC. They split it last year, but they got to go to the college playoffs because of, I think it was like a scoring formality or something. But like, I don't know. I think there has to be adjustments made. There has to be some form of versatility because Loth is doing what he's good at, and he's very good at it. But
yeah,
it's that there's just no words.
You made some cute little names for guys. I don't want you to not name them. So go ahead.
What do you mean? Oh, like what I have in the what's it called? Okay, so talking about defense. We have the tackle machine. This is just the little headers I gave. So tackle machine is Eamon Moran. I think I'm saying that right. We'll get a pronunciation.
E-A-M-O-N is usually Eamon.
Eamon. Nicky's going to get it on the sideline, hopefully.
Yes.
Eamon leads the Wolves with 28 total tackles. Next one I have is hi Kyle. Kyle Jackson leads the team with 1.5 sacks. I don't believe he has 15 total tackles for loss. I think that's a cumulative team, but he does lead the team. And then Mr. Do-It-All, Justin Ingebrigtsen, thank you. Justin Ingebrigtsen is the dual linebacker, 22 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, and an interception. So these are 3 of the defensive names we're going to be hearing a lot. They also returned Deshaun Hardy-Walker, who we've said a long time. You will know where he is on the field because you will hear pads explode and you will see dreads everywhere.
Yes.
Because this guy hits hard, and the last time we saw him, they were like mid-back dreads.
Yes.
So...
he doesn't. He takes no prisoners. Go by. Yeah.
You've ruined my call.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. You gotta do it. Oh man. Listen, Wisconsin plays against Fitchburg on Saturday. The 3 of us will be there on WXCI 91.7 FM. I'm so excited to call the game again with you and to have Nikki with us.
If you're not local to the Danbury area, WXCI.live, I believe.
.org. ./live is, nope, you want WXCI.org. Click listen now. You don't need to watch the video feed, just watch us. You can watch the video if you want and then sync our audio up. I did that in the playoffs with I said on here. I did it in the playoffs with the Maple Leafs, with Joe Bowen calling the games on the radio. You can sync it up; it's fine. We will get you all the coverage of the Wolves, and I hope at least one of you listen because it'll be fun. All right, we haven't been talking about the Yankees a lot. We haven't been talking about the Yankees, but we're going to talk about the Yankees. As we transition to Major League Baseball, we're going to talk about them for a minute. Okay, the first thing here, congrats on making the playoffs. The Yankees are 1 win and help away from winning the AL East.
Just 1 win.
Now they're just 1 win?
I believe it's just 1 win. Yeah, all they had to do is win tonight.
They weren't able to do it yesterday.
They're not doing it at the moment. 8 to 5.
But John Sterling is back. And I don't care if they lost yesterday. He had a brilliant, goosebump-inducing home run call. Here it is.
Off to Judge. Swung on, there it goes. Deep left field, it is high. It is far. It is gone.
It's just a beautiful thing to hear his voice back. It's like he never left. The guy's 86.
I love it. I mean, again,
You seen the GG Hall of Fame?
yeah, for taking. Oh,
For the
it hit me. Really hit me.
I can't believe we're talking about him again calling games. I thought it was really done.
I know.
It was a beautiful thing.
All I'm saying, man, is the feels have hit the last 2 days. Sterling's back in the booth. Get this man another World Series before it's all over.
Dude, listen, Susan was so happy.
You want me to blow your mind real quick? We're talking Yankees. You know what was 10 years ago to this day?
Jeet's list.
10 seasons.
I stood in the dining room of Desert Moon Cafe, Desert Moon Danbury Green, with Alfonso
Soriano.
Sari, my manager, as we cleaned up after a average night of work. It must have been a Thursday night or something because I was there. And him and I watched as Jeter got that hit. And I'll never forget that moment. Ever.
Who was the runner that scored?
Is it John Ryan Murphy? Oh.
We're going to clip this. Comment down below if you know who knocked Derek Jeter in on his final at bat at Yankee Stadium.
Who was it?
That was a little Kermit the Froggy because I was swallowing.
Yeah, you sound like Patty Mahomes. Yeah.
I'm betting my bottom dollar. Mason Williams.
What? Mason Williams? What is he, a pinch runner? I don't even know who that is. I thought it would have been somebody like J.R. Murphy. J.R. Murphy caught... J.R. Murphy caught Mariano's last pitch. It was something... He was in the same time frame. He was a trivia. Like, who caught Mo's last at-bat or something like that.
No. Who did I say it was? Mason Williams? No. I have it here, but I haven't looked at it yet. It's not Zoilo Almonte. That's another good name.
That I know.
It is Antoine Richardson.
Yes!
It was Antoine.
Here comes Richardson.
Yes.
Antoine
Jose
Richardson.
Perella, Brett Gardner. Antoine Richardson scored.
That is wild. I know who it was against. I know that Buck wanted him to throw a cookie, and it doesn't matter because I was thrilled about it. That's crazy. Antoine Richardson. I could watch that highlight on repeat forever. That was beautiful. Derek Jeter.
He just jumps up with the hand. Oh, God.
He said, Derek Jeter, where something is
Where
reality.
fantasy becomes reality.
Oh, Michael K, man. Wow. Bob Costas was calling that game for MLB Network. That was phenomenal. Great stuff.
What was his 3,000th home run call? Derek Jeter, history with an exclamation point.
Wasn't it a grand
It
slam?
was.
Yeah. That's right. Michael K. They're very corny, but they're very memorable. He's ready for them. He's ready for the moments. Yankees have lost Nestor Cortez till at least the middle of October with an elbow strain. I'm sorry, that sounded very radio. I'm getting ready for this weekend. I think a lot of the show is sounded radio.
It's gonna be a lot of tea this weekend.
Yeah, I've been practicing. I've been calling the Islander games with Harden. I've been holding him, calling the games. He's so into it. He's like, oh, he has no idea what's happening. He's like watching the white light. But yeah, Nestor Cortez is out, so Marcus Stroman took his spot today. Cortez might not come back in the playoffs. There's a good chance you won't see him again this season. That's a big loss because he's really found it.
Replacement for him is Cody Poteet. He was pretty good when he was with the Rays. He has a devastating changeup, but just please, don't break my heart. Don't do it.
No.
If it comes down to Cody Poteet, and that would have been Nestor's spot, and he blows it.
Yeah, I know. All right, that's the Yankees. Let's talk about the real business here. Let's talk about the third wild card, because in both the American League and National League, we have huge movement and huge excitement. Unbelievable.
Do you believe you?
We'll start in the AL. We'll start in the AL. I do, Nicky. Don't you worry. I want to say that I called it last week. I said by the weekend, the Tigers would be in a playoff spot. Not only are they in a playoff spot, they are in the second wild card spot in the American League, above the Royals, who suck right now, 3-7 in their last 10, and above the Twins, who are now out of a playoff spot, and they're 3-7 in their last 10, and they suck. The Mariners have been playing pretty middling, and they're only 2 games out of a wild card spot, and by Jove, I think that's for Devin McCormick. I think they might do it. I think the Mariners might get it. They probably won't. It'll probably be Tigers Royals.
Listen, all I'm saying is the Yankees, if they keep the number 1 seed, they have to play, as of right now, either the Orioles or the Royals, and I do not want either of those matchups.
No.
I would much rather either the Astros or the Tigers.
I would like to go on record as saying I in no way, shape, or form
Want the
want the
Astros?
Astros.
I agree. We will lose.
If they had the same record as the White Sox this season, I would in the playoffs. They would beat us. They would beat us. I'm not saying they would cheat, because that would be immature of me. They would beat us.
I think it's time for the get back, because the
Nope.
Yankees, they're
They're
going to have to go
We
through.
could wait another time. Let's just not even find out, okay? Just forget about the Astros. I don't want to ever see them again.
Just, okay. Just do the National League. No, I'm going to be quiet.
Why? Oh, so we can get on our high horse here. Anthony Panthony, the New York Mets are now 4. That's right, 4 points, as it were, away from the playoffs. Their magic number is 4 to clinch the playoffs. 4. They're not gonna blow that, Anthony, and they've blown a lot. Trust me, I'm an Islanders fan, and a lot of them I talk to them, okay? There is palpable excitement around this team. I will go as far as saying that they are hot enough right now that they could win a playoff series. It doesn't matter who they play.
I agree.
Doesn't matter who they play.
I believe
This team, they're one of those teams right now, and it just so happens to be the Mets right now, that the fan base is so behind them that it's like driving them. You know what other team gets like this is the Phillies. The Phillies have a really strong fan base that just like makes them want to win. What is that? Who had that at bat with the grand slam?
Alec Bohm.
Oh yeah, that was unbelievable. And it was the Phillies, and I can't stand them. But the Mets' magic number to clinch the playoffs is 4. Ant, stop hating this team. Is making the playoffs. You're saying they're not going to make the playoffs. I will say that's even wilder than you saying 9-8. They're at 4. Their magic number is 4.
That means they have to win 4, though.
Or the Braves have to lose 2 and they have to win 2.
They play the Braves, though. So it's going to be very... Listen, I can't do it. I can't let the Jets get hot. I can't let the Mets be good at the same time. No. If the Islanders come out and they win the first game and they beat Utah, end me.
Why? Why?
Because I'm gonna have to deal with the combo of the Mets, Jets, Islanders fans.
What's wrong with the Jets fans?
They're the same people as the Mets fans.
I want to say the Mets just won 3 out of 4 from the Phillies. They did lose to the Braves in their one-off game against them. It was a makeup game yesterday, 5-1. But then they play the Brewers, then they play the Braves. Then the season, let me tell you something, they're gonna win. They're gonna win 2 of those.
And we're
games.
postponed right now due to Hurricane
Helene.
Yes.
So it's getting exciting.
Chris, what are the other teams? So you said the Mets are in wild card. Mets are 4 games out, so that's higher up than wild card 3. So
They're in wild card 2, and the Diamondbacks are floundering here at the end. They've lost 3 straight games, and they may be out of a playoff spot by the weekend because the Braves are sneaking in at the right time and getting hot again. They fell out of favor and out of a playoff spot, and now they've rattled off 3 straight wins, including the most recent one against the Mets. They do play the Mets again, but as long as the Diamondbacks keep struggling, then the Mets and Braves may be the 2 teams in. Just looking at the way the teams around them are playing, I don't see another team that's going to pass the Mets. I don't. Do you? You don't.
no, I really don't.
I mean, of course, I don't necessarily love it.
There's going to be, obviously it's an odd team out, and this is whoever is just, it's not, right now, as an Islanders fan, you know this is not who is the best team, this is who is hot right now. If it was a playoff push and the 30-win White Sox got hot, and they can rip off 10 straight, the White Sox might make the play. You know what I mean? It's like,
Is this
whoever
what
gets
happened
hot.
with the Red Wings last season?
Yes,
Yeah,
they
they-
completely
yeah.
blew it. They completely blew it.
And
They
then-
were in a great position
Yeah, they were like red hot, but they got
Washington-
hot too early.
and then Washington was hot at the end, or Washington made it in.
and shouldn't have, but they did.
Yep.
And the Islanders got really hot at the end, and the Penguins got really cold at the end. And the Devils got cold, and Buffalo got cold. It just so happened that the Isles were lucky and the Caps were lucky enough to get in, and they won a combined 1 game in the first round. Thank you. That was the Islanders. That was the 5 games. I'm not going to live that. Anybody live that down? Thank you for my 5 games. Next. Thank you. Next. But yeah, I honestly think the Mets could win a playoff series.
Well, if everything holds right now, the Mets would have to play the Mets would have to play the Brewers again. So they would have to play 6 or 7 straight against the Brewers.
That's exciting.
That's pretty cool.
I mean,
And then from the-
I'd watch that.
From the Brewers, they would get the Phillies.
They just slapped around.
I don't know, but October baseball. and
October Phillies
October
are
Phillies
tough
is
to play.
yeah.
That's exciting for me, and I'm not a Phillies fan. I like watching the Phillies in October.
They have the bank rocking, dude.
Oh, yes, indeed, the Citizens Bank. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, baseball's a very exciting thing right now. It's a very exciting end of the season. So there we go. We talked in June about the 3rd wild card and how maybe it's
Watering down.
watering down thing. It's making this finish really fun.
It really is. It is.
I mean, it's been fun to follow. I mean, it's nice that the Yankees aren't involved in that.
Thank God.
'Cause
Thank God.
no, it's-
And, before we move on, I got word from my Arab source, and
your Arab source.
he said, "WTF is that?"
Is he from Jacksonville?
No,
No.
he's
So
Jordanian.
so then he wouldn't know.
No, it's fair.
He's Jordanian,
Like the river.
like the river ant. Grammy's Grinders of the Week are next. And this week, I don't know who Nikki has, but I am going to tell you who I have. Damar Hamlin is my Grammy's Grinder of the Week. Not what?
I just remembered the TikTok I saw that was so funny.
Damar Hamlin, who died on the field a year and a half ago, right? And was revived and made a full recovery, is having a much more productive season. He's made 3 starts in 3 games this season. He has 19 tackles, which is a lot of tackles for 3 games. And he had his first career interception on Monday Night Football. I mean, that's huge right there. It was his first Monday Night Football start since that very fateful night a year and a half ago. And it's been incredible from him, and the whole recovery story is miraculous, and Hamlin describes it as all God. That's all he says when he's asked about it. And I mean, truly, it was miraculous. The fact that he even came back to life.
Well, the whole situation, it's like he had to have been hit in that exact spot at that exact time with that exact amount of force, and it's truly an awesome story. But
Yeah.
for those Jaguar haters out there, you now can say that Trevor Lawrence is the only person to ever throw an interception to somebody that died.
That's good.
That's really adding insult to injury.
The guy, like, he roasts whatever team does the worst.
Yeah.
And he's like, Trevor Lawrence threw an effing pick to a dead person.
It's not funny, but that's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, he died. He was dead. He was declared dead. And then he
Put him in the ambulance.
and so that's that. So DeMar Hamlin is my Grammys grinder. I think he was all of ours at one point.
Yeah, I can't believe he wasn't already
In like the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Well, it was a much more serious thing. Like he died. We like talked about it in the whole episode.
Oh, fair enough.
But anyway, Anthony or Nikki.
Anthony, I'm going to ask you for help with mine because you know more about him than I do because I actually just learned about him today. I'm not doing what I told you. Cam Ward of Miami football quarterback, he has been killing it. He is a favorite for a Heisman right now, and he looks so calm out there. I love watching his highlights. He literally looks like Luka or Jokic playing basketball. He just doesn't care, but he's so good. And he's turned Miami into one of the best offenses in football, if not the best right now. And that's about all the research I prepped. Anthony maybe can help.
Transferred from Washington State. If you remember 3 episodes ago, I said he wasn't a needle mover. He's actually moved the needle so much, it's back in the starting position. This guy has shot up everybody's draft board. He's the Heisman. Him and Milroe are the Heisman front runners. Potential number 1 overall pick at this point. So that was a really, really good pick.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony. Mr. Panthony.
I think Stevie Wonder could have seen this one coming, baby. My Grammys grinder this week. Andrew Gregory Dalton, baby. 26 of 37 passing, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Is it 2016?
Oh boy.
Because Steph Curry hit the keep pounding drum because boys, we're back.
Oh boy. Wait till next week.
Football is fun again, and it's all because of a man named the Red Rifle.
I will be devastated for you if they start the game down 30 at the
I was
half.
just going to say, if this all goes south, I think next week we have to have that clip play at the beginning of the episode, and then it just is zoomed in on his face when we walk in.
It hasn't even happened and it's funny. I don't want it to happen for the record.
I don't either.
That's
That's actually unironically a really good grinder, though, because he's a vet that's been out of the league for...
It's fantastic. I mean, it's a huge return for Dalton. That's a massive triumphant return. Yeah. He's past his prime, as you would say. He didn't look like it last weekend. That's for sure. And you bet he's playing again this weekend. There's been no chatter about the quarterback situation after this
Dave
week.
Canales came out and was like, no, Andy's our guy.
There's been no chatter. There's been no... Bryce Young playing.
The only chatter...
If he started Bryce Young in this game, that's his last game as a coach.
One thing I have to say, too, before we get going, is I love how the media is portraying Dave Canales. Like, they're still saying this is a bad... They're not going back on their word of saying this was a bad idea, which is hilarious. Like, I need them to go back on the word and be like, no, it was a good idea, because it was. Anyway.
The only chatter I've heard about the situation is that, it was in our group chat, actually. We saw that Bryce Young might be taking a job at Raising Cane's.
Yeah, well,
those rumors are true, but...
that was during the game. That was at the end of the game. Well done, Nick. This has been Sports and Spaghetti. We're so happy you've listened. Our numbers are as high as really they've ever been, and we love that. I love that all of the support that people are giving us. And yeah, Follow us on, subscribe, please, on YouTube, Sports and Spaghetti. I already said it, but do this.
Hey, click the subscribe for next video.
That was Sabrina again. Follow us on Instagram at Sports and Spaghetti Pod and on TikTok at Sports and Spag Pod. Keep watching us and keep putting our views up. And it's so much fun to come do this when there's a lot of people watching,
Yes.
right?
Try some cherry limeade.
That was my sign off.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Good luck, Ant.
Oh.
I thought it was gonna be something Panther related, man.
Oh, no, it will be. Way to go, Nick. All right, Anthony, take us home.
All right, that's Chris. That's Nikki. That's Middle Eastern food. I'm Ant with no catchphrase. As always, I do that a lot, don't I? As always, take care of your loved ones. And as always, stay full.